when I was talking to him? His coolest feature is his left hand. When you get a chance, have a look at the tattoo. It's like our Brazilian here has the whole universe on his left hand. So, do not consider the left hand during the talk. Welcome Alex with a loud round of applause, and let's get the show on the road.
Hello, 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 hello. Hey, good morning, everyone. I think it's morning. Yeah. So, as we see in the schedule, oh, please don't see the schedule because the schedule has a spoiler. The name of the talk is United We Compile. I am Alex. This is my photograph. I am Alex. I'm a senior staff engineer in a fintech in Brazil. And also, I wore several hats in the last years. I am the author, I'm a speaker, I'm a tech reviewer and books, I'm a mentor. People also say I am programming. And lately, I have some affairs with Zig and get more and more interested in this language and project. Okay. So, I get involved to an extent that I'm publishing my second book regarding learning Zig, because it's not the most accessible language, because it's low level. And my very first one is about system programming. I'm not a low level guy. I'm over the drugs. I don't do Java anymore. And I'm right now using low level stuff. I'm trying to know how the computer works and this kind of stuff. My relationship with Go started in 2016. And I did my first Hello World in Go. And 3 months later, in Brazil, I attended for the very first GopherCon. I trying to learn the ecosystem, the language. I didn't know nothing about it. Luckily enough, I'm keep engaging with this community. And I'm on the streak of 4 participations in GopherCon Brazil. This year, it was rebranded for GopherCon Latin America. It's something like 1,500 people. It's the biggest GopherCon in the world. And I could make my first keynote in this conference. This year, I'm exposing to using other languages and visiting other countries. So in this year, I did my talks in South Africa, in Russia and Moscow, and here. If you are doing the math with me, I say Brazil, Russia, South America, India. Wait, it's all about BRICS, right? We are BRICS here. So, I have a request. Please, Xi Jinping and CCP, create a GopherCon in China, please. I cannot go full BRICS without it. But enough about me. Let's talk about cross-compilation. If you haven't touched cross-compilation, I want to give you a quick recap because not everyone experiencing the language. What is the experience you want in Go? Simple developer experience. So, go build, boom, everything works. I need to use this very same program in another machine and build again. No extra flags, go build, boom, it's working. But sometimes you need to create the binary for another host, another target, another maybe OS or architecture. So how can you do that? There is 2 environment variables in Go to control that. The first one is Go OS or Goose, if you are very into Go. And if you don't know what you can put in this value, you can access the target machine and just you name it -s and C, and Linux is the value if you want for Linux. And for the architecture in this case is 32 bits, 64 bits. The Go arch is the environment variable you want. So, if you change it, Go will do cross-compilation and pure Go code. It's given. So what we are doing in this snippet, we are building, no matter what the host machine, for an AMD 64 and Linux. Oh, you don't need to bother about setting these values for your environment because your environment is already set by the toolchain of Go. So if you don't know what the values are currently, just do go env and find your values. I do a simple grep and you can see that. So, okay, Go cross-compile. It's given. But what about CGO? There are several reasons to use CGO. The first one is the most intuitive, is we want to call C or C++ code bases or libraries. But why I want to do that? So, we want to access battle-tested projects, codes, that resisted the test of time. It's probably is not the best idea rewrite everything, okay, rustations. So sometimes you need to collaborate as an ecosystem, and sometimes you need the raw power of a language that does not have a garbage collection, so the latency will thank you. So we want to use C or C++ code bases. For now on, I just mentioned in C because it's very tiresome. So my dream is go build. I don't care if I use in CGO or not, and everything works. But my dream is not here. What we actually need to use CGO, go build, and specify the CGO as enable, and choose the target with these two variables, and delegate your toolchain and compiler of C and C++ for external tools. And much more stuff if you have a complex build or an ecosystem of cross-compilation. But I could argue me with, okay, but I can show it all in a makefile, and it's a bit sufficient. I don't know, because there are more problems. You need to install cross-compilation toolchains. What I need to install to build for Plan 9? I don't know. You need to have control of every libc version of you are using. It's not giving, oh, libc, it's working. It's more than 40 versions of libc. If you need to do some troubleshooting and debugging, you need more and more tools in your ecosystem of development. And you gain slow builds. Slow builds is nice if you like to go to the cafeteria, have a chat with people. Slow builds is good for that. And you have more problems like dynamic linking issues. The machine that I want to run my program with CGO does not have what is expected. It's broken. And the dependency hell. It's hard to control every moving part when we are talking about C and C++ environments. If people are used to struggle with CMake and other tools, you know what I'm talking about. So this is already enough problem to me in terms of user experience or developer experience. In this case, I am the user. But when you choose CGO, you are losing some features or partially some features of Go. When you go into this road, you lose the race detector, pprof capabilities, coverage, fuzz testing. You do not have statically linked binaries. This is maybe the most shout out feature of Go. You have one bin and push it, and many more problems when you choose this road. For me, the summary is, you cannot compile with ease anymore. It's not, you don't have the ease to just put a single command and have your binaries for every target. I don't know. I don't think juggling with all this tooling, it's easy. For me, it's not. But people, maybe it's much more intelligent than me. I don't want to deal with all of that. So, okay, we are doomed. I don't think so. And today I want to present an option to do that. And an option is the Z compiler. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, jet lag, this guy is crazy. It's talking about C, it's talking about Go, and out of thin air, it's talking about Z compiler. How I will, what? Okay, Brazilians are nuts, I know. So, what's the point? Zig compiler has a drop-in replacement for Clang and LLVM and glibc. So you don't need to manage all the versions of all these tools. How can I access the compiler of another language? It's not possible in Go. You cannot expose the compiler of Go or the build system without hacks. It's not possible. So the project Zig did something, I think, genius. They created a front end, like a command line, to expose the Zig compiler to receive every flag, the Clang or any tooling that is shipped with Zig needs to compile. So you choose the target and you have a binary, a static linked binary, like in Go. What version? All of them. You have for glibc from the version 2.0 for 2.41. It's everything shipped in it. You don't need to wrestle and fight with algae library paths because Zig compilers got you, and the name of this front end is ZigCC. Okay, Go have a target composed by architecture and the OS. You saw that. For Zig, we have a name for that tuple. It's called triple, triple, tuple, tuple, triple. The name of this is triple. And what composed this triple? The architecture, the OS, and the environment. What is the environment here? Some examples. ARM, Linux, and use a GNU embedded ABI hard float. WebAssembly with Muscle, 32-bit Windows with GNU, like glibc. And I don't like the vibe, trust me, bro. I think we should see this in action because, I don't know, do you want to just trust me? I don't trust me. What? 1 second. Cool. To do this experiment and explore it with you guys, and because of time, we need to see the simplest example that I can thought, and what we have here. Whoop, okay, it's everything, oh, sorry. It's everything in the screen, okay. So what we have here, a main function that sets a seed and generates a random number and print number, days since the last CGO issues. We have two more functions. It's just about encapsulation, like random is calling the C function random, and seed is declaring the seed. But the most important part, from the line 3 to line 6, is the import C. The import C is making this foreign interface through C to Go. And there is a hacky, sketchy thing that is a special comment that saying the following. Okay, I'm importing C. What more? In this case, the std library, the standard library of C, the libc. Cool. So with go build, it's better, okay. Go build main.go. Wait. No source files. We have a main.go here, right? Let's try maybe to build and have more debug information. Okay, go build. Whoa, no Go source files. Anyone know what's happening here? When we are using CGO, we need to enable CGO. So first we need to check if CGO is enabled. Go env. A lot of stuff. Let's filter that. Grab CGO enable. In my very machine, it's not enabled. So how can you do that? I don't want to set this for all my environment, just for my command. So CGO enabled equals 1 and bimbas 3. We have the main build and it's just work. It's nothing new, it's just a simple CGO. Okay, but what we want to cross-compile CGO, not just build CGO. To cross-compile, we know that we need to choose another host or architecture. I don't have the powers to change the architecture of my machine, so I just choosing the host. So goose equal Linux. Whoa, it's not working. Because when CGO is trying to reach for the standard library of libc of Linux, it's totally different. The macOS version is not the same. The Apple Clang doesn't have set reg ID or set UID. That's over? I don't think so. Zig for the rescue. So let's delegate the cross-compilation to Zig. The very same command and with more stuff. cc, Zig, cc, the front end for the compiler, and the target you need to choose, like Go does. We want to ARM architecture 64 bits, like Apple Silicon, Linux, and Muscle. Oh, it's fast, right? What we have here, the same main, but let's change the name just for not have some confusion here. CGO Linux. Okay, it's fast. Let's try to run. It obviously is not running because it is a binary for Linux. If we check the CGO Linux, it is an L file. So the cross-compilation with CGO is working. But again, no trust me bro here. Let's execute on the Linux. So I started a brand new VM here, and I mapped the directory. Is the same files. Let's execute. Wow, it's working. The output is ugly. Locat. Okay, it's here. This machine does not have anything related with this binary. How can I prove that? Let's see the LDD, the information of dynamic linking. CGO. Not dynamic executable. What it means that you can get this binary and push for every Linux with the same architecture, like we did in Go before. Okay. The point is, it works, and it's easy. I'm not fighting with, I need to configure CMake and my blah, 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 Microsoft burbles. It's just XCC. You set the target, and you are set. Sometimes you need to release your binaries for a package manager or something like that. And there is a project that helps you with that. Anyone here use Go Releaser, or at least heard of? A couple of hands. Cool, 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 cool. So the point is, the new versions of Go Releaser support Zig. So if you want to ship your Go program or binary with C dependencies, now you can with just a simple YAML file configured. So thanks, Carlos Becker is the creator of the Go Releaser. Our life is easier now. Okay. Zig is very new. The project have much time, but Zig is very new. Who is using it? Uber is using it. So there is a big video to understand how Uber uses it, but it's for hermetic builds, more in the video. And I know, Uber using it is not an argument, but it's a better argument than the bakery in my neighborhood using Zig, right? It's a big company. So to increase the trust in Zig, there is my honorable mentions. So the terminal Ghosty is written in Zig, and it cross-compile for every machine. The best of it is, you don't have problems like, oh, Aliquity doesn't work in this scenario, or Kitty doesn't do that when blah, blah, blah. No, Ghosty cross-compile, so all the features are in all places. The little one is Bun. If you're using JavaScript or need a JavaScript runtime, Bun is your friend. It's faster than you can believe. And the major one here is the ledger called Tiger Beetle. It's a financial transaction system. It's a database, but the database of the future. This project is crazy relevant because if you need to learn CS, system design, or Zig, tons of stuff, ton of knowledge. So is that it? Just put Zig on it, like Beyonce said? No, because there are issues. Zig is not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. There are no issues. One example of that, if you are building for ARM, embedded ARM, you cross-compile, you test in QEMU, it works, but when you put in the device, the real device, loading errors. The point is, Zig compile RT, the runtime of the compiler, is not yet complete. This is the major milestone for, don't bother if the cross-compilation will succeed or not. So we need to wait for 1.0 for that. But for the mainstream platforms, it's operational. The niche ecosystems, not so much. So let's wrap. It's about time. Zig is the future of CGO. Perhaps, I don't know. I can't see the future. But I think it is because the Go build system and compiler is not open. There are reasons for that, but we need much more time to discuss that. What's the point? With CGO, cross-compilation is no longer a blocker. You can ship with SQLite, Liberty Kafka, and everything that uses C behind the scenes. Zero dependencies is one tarball lesser than 60 meg, and you do it all. All targets that supported out of box, that's nice. The cache of build system in Zig is very complex and good. I have a blog post about that because it's a longer conversation. It is a drop-in replacement for Clang, and the license is MIT. You cannot static link with glibc or something like that because it's not MIT. You have problems with licensing. It's like Apple Clang. You cannot ship with that. Zig cannot use that. And the best part, you do not need to know anything about the Zig language, but that's a bummer because it's a very pleasurable language to write code. So, for most CGO projects, Zig is, what's my verdict? For me, it's a massive win, massive win. The upsides smashes the downsides. Please experiment when you need to cross-compile CGO. And my last question may be the most important question in the whole industry. What will arrive first? Zig 1.0 or GTA 6? I don't know. Thanks.